Hey guys, I thought it would be a fun idea to share with you today some of the books that I've read this year and as well share what is on my August TBR. Who knows when I'll actually have this video edited and everything. You may not see this until like mid-August, but I thought I would share it anyway because I love watching these videos. Books and Lala is one of my favorite channels to watch. I've been watching her since before she did sort of that whole booktube thing. When she was Obs and Lala, I think her channel was called. Anyway, I will link her channel down below because she's amazing to watch and I always love her book choices. But I thought I would share with you some of the books. So I've got two piles behind me. Here I have the books that I have read so far this year, and here is a smaller pile, and that is my August TBR list to be read for those of you who aren't up on bookish lingo. So first of all, I'll go through some of these books that I read so far, and I have them listed in order. So some of these books are for book clubs, most notably the Paper and Glam book club. You can look them up. There's a Goodreads group. Paper and Glam is Lisa Marie, and she is a blogger, a YouTuber, and avid reader. I will link, I'll link the Facebook group, I'll link her website to all the information if you want to join that book club, even though it's, already halfway through the year. First book we read with that book club was Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes. Shonda is the TV writer for How to Get Away with Murder, Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, The Catch. So she has written a lot of great television, and this is I believe this is the first book she wrote. And I really enjoyed kind of getting a glimpse inside what she does for a living, but also her personal life. I found the first half really interesting, and it kind of went down from there. It was a good book overall. I can't remember what I rated it on Goodreads. I'll also link my Goodreads account below if you want to, be friends with me. And the second book that I read this year was Bringing Up Bebe by Pamela Druckerman. She's an American journalist living in France, and I thought this was really interesting, an interesting take on the differences between French and American parenting. And I did get some good ideas, like parenting ideas and parenting tips, as well as things that I don't want to do. So I did enjoy this read. My next read was Love Warrior by Glennon Doyle Melton, and this was another one for Paper and Glam. And it is a memoir, and she takes you through a lot of the trials and tribulations of her life and how she overcame those things. As the title suggests, it is about love, or there is, some aspect of love to it. I found it gritty at times and sometimes a little bit emotional, and I really enjoyed it. The next book I read was The Nest by Cynthia Dupree Sweeney, and this was also for the Paper and Glam book club. I didn't think that I was gonna like this one initially, but I ended up loving it. For some reason I thought it was gonna be some floofy, like, romance. Then there's nothing wrong with romance. I do enjoy one of those, and I do enjoy, the fluffier type every once in a while, but I thought that it was going to be like that, but it's not. It's much deeper and much darker, and I really enjoyed it. The next book I read was one that I was so excited about, and I'm still pretty jazzed about. It's Shadow of Doubt by Bobby Jean McKinnon, and my mother-in-law got it for me for Christmas, and she even had it autographed by the author for me. I'm from St. John, New Brunswick, and this is a local true crime story. This is a prominent family in town here, and it was and still is a part of the news because it's not quite over yet. The trial was covered, and this covers the whole trial, leading up to it, and everything else. And it's absolutely fascinating to me, especially because it occurs here in my hometown, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the retrial brings because he appealed. He was convicted, charged guilty, and he went to prison and he appealed and he won his appeal. I thought I had an idea of whether he did it or not at the beginning, but after reading this book, I don't know. So it's really interesting to hear Bobby Jean McKinnon. She's a journalist. It was really interesting to hear her take on it. She was very kind of nonpartisan. She didn't really have or at least I couldn't tell reading it, which, you know, is a sign of a good journalist. I couldn't tell which way she leaned. So I'm excited to see what develops with this story. I mean, I shouldn't be excited. This is, you know, this is a real family going through a real hard time, and so I shouldn't be excited, but nothing exciting really happens here, so this was quite the story. So the next book that I read is one that my sister actually got me over 4 years ago when I was going into the hospital to have Ben, and I just got around to reading it now. It's called The Mermaid Garden by Santa Montefiore, and I thought, you know, I thought that I would like it, but I thought it would be so much lighter and fluffier than it was, and it's kind of this romance in a roundabout way. It's mystery, it's intrigue, and I really, really enjoyed it. The next book that I read was Bound South, and that is by Susan Rebecca White. And I think somebody got this for me as a gift, probably my mom for Christmas or something. If you want to know what to get me for, you know, any event in my life, a book is always welcome. And I wasn't sure what to expect. I thought maybe, you know, these Southern belles or something like that, but it's much more complex. There's, you know, it deals with some homosexuality. It deals with a you know, a kind of a sexual assault. It deals with racism and some old South kind of ideals in a newer setting. So this was a really fun read for me. So now I'll move on to my TBR for August. I would love to do these, you know, what I read and TBR type videos every month. If that's something you guys would be interested, please let me know, because I love watching them, so I would be more than happy to film some for you. So, I almost forgot. One other book that I read, and I read it for another book club, just friends book club. Let me just look up my phone here. I'm gonna look at my Goodreads account. It's called Pawn of Prophecy, Book 1 of the Belgrade by David Eddings, and it's a sort of science fiction. His writing reminds me a lot of Terry Pratchett, and I really, really enjoyed that. I read that on my Kindle, that's kind of why I forgot. So, in terms of TBR for August, I posted a picture on Instagram of these 3 books. So I've got Smoke Gets in Your Eyes by Caitlin Doughty, and she is a YouTuber. She's fabulous. If you know the channel Ask a Mortician, that would be her. So it's Smoke Gets in Your Eyes and Other Lessons from the Crematory. So I'm super excited to read that. My next one is The Time in Between by David Berg, and I really don't know a whole lot about this one, but it won the Scotiabank Giller Prize, so that might be something, huh? It's been sitting on my shelf, so I thought I would give that a go. And being that it's August, I have a whole bunch of Diana books. Something to know about me is Princess Diana was like my hero. She was somebody that I admired and an idol to me, and she still very much is, because, you know, the things that she stood for in life transcend her death. So I have The Day Diana Died, and that's by Christopher Anderson, and I have lots of Diana books, and since August 31st marks the, I'm gonna look this up because it's August 31st. Since it's coming up here on the 20-year anniversary, and I can't believe that either, but I thought I would read some Diana books this month. This one is the one that I hope to get to the most. I didn't want to put too much on my plate because I didn't know how much I'd be reading. I will also be reading, I got my new Kindle, and I posted about that on Instagram, and so that has, I'm just getting my Goodreads account up here. So that comes with Kindle Unlimited. So there were a few books that I downloaded to read, and one was Hope of the Pharaoh, a Kaya trilogy by Katie Hampstead. I really love historical fiction, particularly Egyptian historical fiction. So I downloaded that one, and there's 3 parts to that book, I believe. So, or not that book, there's 3 parts to the series. And I'll be downloading all of those and reading those. We'll see what I get done in August, but I will come back next month in September and let you know what I accomplished, how many books I accomplished. So that's it, guys. That's all my books for this month, or leading up to this month, and my plan for this month. I'm hoping I'll be able to get them all in. And I would really be interested to find out what you guys are reading, what booktubers you enjoy watching. Like I said, Books and Lala is she's fantastic. So if you're interested in watching more booktubers, she's definitely one you should check out. So leave me your suggestions for books, leave me your suggestions for booktubers, and I will see you next time, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye!